Hello guys, how you doing? It's your homeboy Gee. Good morning everyone. I hope everybody's doing fine. I hope everybody's doing great. Road to the 1K. We don't forget. We are very close. I think maybe 900. No, not 900. 90 or 99 subscriber away from it. Okay. This morning I just dropped my child to the school, and I just saw the setup of that school. Actually, it's my second child going to school here in the Philippines, and I just realized that I never took a video about the school here in the Philippines. Probably just give you some, idea for those who are thinking to maybe have the kids coming over in the Philippines or eventually work in the Philippines with their family. How's the school here? How's the tuition? Like, this is a sort of pro and cons video. I'm just laying down some advantage of studying in the Philippines if ever you're thinking to bring your child here, and eventually things that you need to know, as that might be challenging for you if you're also thinking to bring your kids here to study in the Philippines. Okay, so for the pro, for the advantage, if I can say it like that, of studying in the Philippines, I try to recap it into like 3 or 4 categories. And of course, I'm with my partner, my wife also here. She will probably also give you some insight about her perception as Japanese. Definitely, I'm giving my perception as somebody who have lived in the Philippines for very long. Not really as a foreigner, but somebody who's living in the Philippines for very long and can advise a foreigner. So I think the very first advantage that I see with the Philippine school, for someone like me who has studied for 5 years, I think the affordability. Definitely, you know that Philippines is not the richest country in the world, right? It's more likely growing. So the tuition fee here compared to some other school can really be attractive. And I think studying in one college here, I was paying around 100k pesos yearly for the tuition. So you can do the math in pesos, whatever currency you have. So that was for not really a low school, more than average school. It was around 100,000 pesos yearly. Right now I have my firstborn who's studying also in a college, in elementary here, grade 2, and he's paying around 65,000. And again, I'm even choosy when I'm talking about this school, because you can definitely find some school here that are way cheaper, but around 50 to 60,000 yearly. It's not the cheapest, it's even above the average, which is definitely more cheaper than Japan. Or Japan is more expensive, like 60,000 for elementary school. What do you think?
I think elementary school it's almost same as Japan.
Oh really?
Yes, but yes, pre-kinder is different.
But I mean, for example, somebody is in elementary school, how much is the average tuition
In Japan?
Any idea?
Yeah, I think it's almost 100,000 pesos. No, less than 100,000 pesos. So I think there is not the big difference
with the Philippines.
Between the school that you enroll your son, and Japanese public school.
Oh, that's public school.
Yes, public.
Okay.
But yours is private.
Private.
Oh, I
so
see.
That means
it's cheap.
Yes, that means you are talking about public. So if you go to private, I assume that private are always more expensive than public.
I think public is free. I don't really have a knowledge about
I don't really have knowledge about it.
So maybe it's free.
Okay, but anyway.
But it's still cheap if it's public, private.
Well,
then it's cheap.
It's cheap because it's private. Because in the Philippines, I'm going to talk about the consequence later. But definitely, the public school here is literally, it's close to be free. And I'm going to discuss about it later. So yeah, one of the first thing here is the private school here are quite affordable. And the reason why I'm going to suggest the private school is because they're speaking English. Right? If you're a foreigner and then you want to send your kid to school, probably you want to look for a school where they're going to speak English, so that, the language, they understand each other. Now, if you go to public school, that's already one of the consequences. They are speaking Tagalog there. Most of the public schools sometimes speak Tagalog, so it's going to be quite tough for a foreigner to learn Tagalog as a language of communication. So one of the second things that I'm going to put on my list as a pro or advantage here is that Philippines has a lot of world-class university. They have several schools here that can be among the top 100 schools. Without advertisement, we can already call Ateneo, we have La Salle, we have UP. These are very elite schools. But of course, the tuition are a little bit high. But if you compare some other elite schools from other countries, let's say for example, if you look for, I don't know, any elite school that you have in your country, you will see that the price that you're spending to study in one elite school in the Philippines, it's quite affordable compared to another elite school in another country. Let's say for example, I think if you go to Tokyo and you look the best school in Tokyo, when I say elite, like the quality school in Tokyo, that is like very private, right? I'm sure that you are not going to talk about 200,000 pesos only.
No.
Right? While in UP, Ateneo, this school is the top of the top, but still, it's gonna hit your wallet for sure. But if you go to Tokyo or maybe in another country and you want to be in the top school, I think you will go bankrupt. So you can access what I think for me, you can access some world-class university here and still have some little bit amount left in your wallet. So another criteria that I'm going to put as an advantage here, probably the number 3 on my list, will be the diversity of the culture here in the Philippines. First of all, Filipinos speak English a lot, so that's already one of the main advantages. In Japan, I think
we don't speak,
right?
And even if we have an English class, and actually my
major in English
of my
right?
university was English, but we were so shy to speak English in front of my classmates. Even if the teacher is foreigner, we just make him alone like.
But your major was English. So you see, that is a good example.
We just attend, but being quiet.
And guess what? If you guys watch one of my very first videos, she was explaining that she went here in the Philippines to learn again English.
But I spent so much money on the university in Japan, but I learned nothing. Right.
So just to say that this is one of the advantages of the Philippines here. We know that English is widely spoken in the world.
Yeah, so, and they are not shy at all, right?
Right, exactly. And because of this kind of person, it makes Philippines very diverse. In the sense that you can see Japanese, you can find African like me, you can find several nationality here who are coming here for different reasons. Maybe because of English, and at a certain point, it doesn't really feel like you're alone, or like people are not. Definitely, you're going to see at least somebody from your country in this country. So I will probably say the fact that this country speak English and the diverse, the cultural background, in the sense that the population, you can see a lot of different nationalities here. It's a very good advantage. And also, but I think Japan has it also. I think you will tell me no. You will tell me the how you call that. The scholarship in the sense that for you got the scholarship,
Yes.
Well, in a sense that for me as varsity, I have been in the Philippines here. I have played basketball for 5 years, and the whole 5 years I didn't pay 1 pesos. And you know what? I got a scholarship. Why? Because I was varsity, I was playing basketball. So Philippines still offers some program where you can come here, you play basketball, maybe you are good in math or in something. They give you scholarship, and then you study for the whole year, you don't pay anything. I remember when I was in college, they have a certain grade that they were asking students to have. And if you have that grade, you don't pay the tuition as long as you maintain the grade. As long as you maintain the grade, you keep the, I don't know if there's that kind of thing in Japan.
No, we have the same system also.
Oh, like.
And then they don't need to pay, I think.
As long as you're good in your sport, in school. it's going to be free.
Yes, but I'm not.
No,
the one
definitely I
that's
wasn't.
not the one.
I never got it even myself. In Cameroon, we don't. I don't even think that we have it in Cameroon in Africa. Unfortunately, we don't really have a scholarship when it's come to athletes playing basketball or football, and they give you scholarship. Maybe for football we have, because football is very popular. But when it's come to basketball and other sports, we don't have a scholarship. Scholarship because you have a good grade. We have, but we don't have that much as Philippines or Japan. I think here they are really offering it. You can see a school more than 200 students. They are just there with scholarship. But in Cameroon, in one school of maybe 500 students, maybe only 3 or 4 are there with the free scholarship.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this is also one thing that can make you come in the Philippines. In case you have a special talent, you can easily earn a scholarship here for free, like me. Okay, now it's going to be the less fun part. Again, it's not just to bring down Philippines. We are just going to give some, cons also, if we already give some pro. And I think most of the cons here are a little bit applicable to some country, not every. And one of the first things that I have here as cons is the quality of the public school. Earlier you were talking a lot about scholarship here, education, but most of the conversation that we had earlier was about private school. When it's come to public, there are some, definitely for foreigner, one of the challenges first would be that they are speaking a lot of local language. A lot of kids are local. Not that the problem is because they are local, but the lifestyle also, it's pretty, I don't want to say cheap, but the maintenance, it's not high maintenance in terms of the environment of the school, how clean is the school, even the food. If maybe you are not so familiar with Filipino food and stuff like that, just be ready to be immersed into Filipino life. And of course, because it's public, it's cheap. And if it's cheap, do not expect a high class. It's definitely going to be low class. Because I remember I had one year, a couple years ago, she had kids, her niece, who came and stayed with us. And the niece was studying in Makati, and Makati is one of the high-end area in the Philippines, in Metro Manila. The kid was studying free. I mean, literally free. She was not paying anything. And of course, if you don't pay for anything, what do you expect? You don't really expect to have the aircon. For example, the classroom do not have aircon in some public school here. It's just window open, right? The security is not the same as the private school, right? Even some area where the school are, sometimes it's prone for flooding and stuff like that. So foreigner coming here in the Philippines, I will probably not just advise you to look for a public school for your kids, but more like a private school. I'm not sure if it's like this in Japan too when it comes to public school. Is there a big difference between private and public?
No, I don't think there is a big difference. Even the public school is very maintained well. And the school lunch is delicious. And the class, the quality of the class, the quality of the teacher, it's, I think, same.
Oh, in the private school, in the public school and private.
Yes. So we are not hesitant to
enroll to send your kid in the public school. Oh, okay.
Yes, the range of the class is also same. Like we have a swimming, we have basketball, volleyball, like math, history, everything.
So the public school, in short, has everything also as in private. Quite similar, no big difference.
Yes.
And actually in my country, this is a very opposite. The public school also is a bit similar like Philippines. Not really maintained, low class, in the sense that it's also cheap. And I mean, it's free. Also in Cameroon, the elementary school is free. Public, it's free. So do not expect high maintenance and stuff there. But what I can also certify like Japan is that the quality of the teacher in the public school usually are very good. Why? Because it's the government, and when they hire somebody, they make sure that they are not hiring a cheap one, but they are hiring a competent who got the diploma from the public government. Because in my country, this is what happens. When somebody have a private school, sometimes they tend to hire teacher based on the price, not based on the qualification. So the teacher is not so good, but he's just asking, let's say for example, $500. The school will say, oh, it's cheap. We're going to save money because you're private, right? But the government, you can ask $1,000. It's not that the problem. They're going to pay you because it's the government. You know, they have a lot of money. It's the money of the whole nation. They're going to look first if you have the diploma that they're requesting.
I see. So what's the purpose of sending kids to private school in Cameroon and Philippines? Cameroon.
Well, they're sending kids in the private school. Not all. First of all, not all private schools are doing that. But the problem also in the public school is that, let's say for example, kids are not. It's not that the teacher is not good. It's that, for example, in class where they just need 10 students, you're going to see 50 students. 50. So 5 times more.
50?
Yes.
Wow,
Suppose,
that's a lot.
example, you just need 10 students, you're going to see 50. So even if the teacher is good, it's because he has too much
They need to
kids.
handle too many
He cannot
kids.
handle everything,
I
right?
see.
So
The
it's
environment.
Not, yes. So it's not that it's not good. It's just that you guys are too many
I
and
see.
cannot really focus on each of
Sayang.
you, right? That's why at a certain point, some parents prefer to avoid sending kids to the public
I see.
and send to the private, where they really focus on the number that was
I
requested.
see.
And everybody go to the. Some people go to the public because it's cheap. It's free. So if you don't have money, at least your kids go to school rather than just it doesn't go at all. And maybe unless in Japan, in Africa, we have more poor people than rich people. So definitely, the public school will be very full. Yeah. The second thing here that can also be considered as maybe a challenge for foreigners or kids is sometimes the adjustment period. I don't know if it's applicable for Shu or our child right now, but we are going to see. But usually when you're coming from a different culture and then you start learning another different environment, it might take time for you to get comfortable or get used to culture. Maybe if the kid starts at a very early age in the Philippines, he will probably get the hang of, the system. But I think that's has been also one of the questions that we sometimes have with Shu, one of our child is, what if he starts studying in the Philippines here, and then maybe at grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, he need to move to Japan. Will he still be able to catch up with the discipline, with how things are done, with the system, with the culture? Because me going to Japan, if I was supposed to study in Japan, coming from Africa, I think it will be 10 times harder than in the Philippines. Because the culture there is really, they have a different way of doing things. And we all know how Japan are very, regarding on how they do things, right? Philippines also have that part, but I think if we compare them to Japan, Philippines is a little bit flexible in the sense that, they're losing up a little bit, but still gonna be a challenge for you. I don't know where you're coming from, but maybe adaptation can be a challenge for a parent who's bringing his child here in the Philippines. But really, if you cannot adapt in the Philippines, I think you cannot adapt in any country in the world. Because to me, Philippines is really like open, chill country. Can you imagine if you go to Japan and you need to?
We have a class, moral class.
Right? And you need to adapt. Like, if it's not the time to stand up, don't stand up. If it's time to sit down, sit down. If everybody go left, you should go left.
I don't know how strict the current Japanese school is, but it was very strict.
Or maybe international school in Japan can also be a little bit chill because
It's an international school in Japan.
Oh, really?
We don't need it.
So they don't
At
care.
least in my province, I don't see foreigners.
Oh, so regardless whatever is the school, it's still Japanese
Yeah.
tradition, everything. You bow your head.
When I was a student, the violence was also kind of acceptable. But they changed, I think. So it was very strict.
But I think that's something that you're going to think about. At what age they should already move to Japan?
Earlier is better, right?
Right? Earlier is better, I'm thinking. Because if you're leaving the Philippines when you're already 15 or 10 years old,
The earlier it
Philippines is teaching you to how to be very
Yeah, to
social,
adjust, yes.
you know, and you might be shocked with Japan. So that's one thing. And the last thing that I want to probably add is the visa. You're studying here as a foreigner, probably, right? So I think as every foreigner, you need to have some requirement in terms of visa, you know, paper. If you're an expat, I'm assuming that the company will take everything in charge. So probably, you know, you don't really have to go to the immigration and do the procedure by yourself. But if you are not an expat and you just decide to move in here by yourself and, you know, starting looking a school for your child, sometimes the procedure of getting the student visa for your child, it's not that it's impossible, but it's just too tedious in the sense that there's a lot of requirement, there's a lot of paper, and if you decide to go through an agency, you just have to spend more. And it's also the easiest part in the sense that they can do it for you, you just stay at home, but it's going to hit your wallet. So if you don't want to spend money, you can just do it by yourself, but it's just going to take a little bit more time. So these are a little bit things that I just wanted to share in terms of pros and cons when it's come to having a child here and studying in the Philippines. I just bring mine a couple minutes, a couple hours to go to the school, and I just thought to have that video. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen there. Let's see his feedback from the school, and maybe from there I can give you now the feedback from the student perspective. Is there anything there that you want to share or talk about the school or
No.
Alright, road to the 1K. Let's not forget, keep liking, keep subscribing. While wearing, take good care of yourself and be bala.